Hello, everybody. My name is Clarisse Palma da Silva, and I'm super happy to be here today. I'm a professor, associate professor at the Department of Plant Biology at the Universidade Estadual de Campinas in Brazil, in the state of São Paulo. And today I'm super happy to show our work on the Rede de Mulheres Acadêmicas da Unicamp. And I will not translate all over the talk because this is a proper name, but just to know it's a network of academic women at Unicamp, our university. And the idea is of our group is that promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion in higher education and academic broadens horizons and improve the way science is done. Just because of that, we are super interested in this topic. So just briefly to introduce our why we are working this small scale inside of our university. The State University of Campinas, the Universidade Estadual de Campinas, also in short, Unicamp, is a public and free of charge university. So it's paid by the tax that every citizen paid for the state of São Paulo. So this university was founded in '64 and is the third best Latin American university. Is a 200 most prestigious university in the world. We have almost 35,000 students in more than 66 undergrad courses and more than 150 postgraduate courses. We almost 2,000 professors with a minimum doctorate degree in a full-time regime. And also important in this context of diversity, inclusion, and equity is that in 2019, the central administration of our university created the Human Rights Office. And this Human Rights Office has 7 different advisory committees: the Accessibility Committee, the Indigenous People, the Ethnicity and Racial Diversity Committee, the Environmental Justice, the Human Rights Observatory, and the Refugee Committee named Cátedra Sérgio Vieira de Mello. And important for our context today on women in academy is the Gender Committee, Gender and Sexuality Committee. So we are supported and we work together with this committee, but we are independent from the institution for the central administration. This is super important because we can have the freedom to think and to propose what we want in this ideas of women in academy. So the idea was to respond, the creation of our group was last year, actually very recently as well, is to respond the need to implement policies and guidelines that aims to neutralize the barriers and obstacles faced by women, and here as gender as identity or expression in the academic context and the career at our university. So we have some goals. We want a lot of things actually, but we organize in 4 main goals: to understand the current disparity in gender representation in our university, expand the dialogue on gender equity and diversity in our university, propose strategies and actions that will encourage, attract, and retain women in academic careers. And the last but not the least, support women to engage in academic and administrative leadership positions, because we know that women are not represented in academic levels as men are. But who we are? We are an interdisciplinary group with almost 90 members from several faculties, institutes, and centers. We also organize our group with the executive council, executive board, also interdisciplinary group from different faculties. And here is I am, where I belong. So our first product, the first thing we learned when we started the group, we investigated, is the development of careers, the professor and the researcher careers in our university. And as you can see here, we have great stability all over the 20 years. So we have always this impression that things are getting better, but it doesn't look like that. And there's great asymmetries in the highest career positions. So we can see that in the beginning is, although not completely half-half, but when we go to the associate professors and full professor, the asymmetry get worse. And these asymmetries are in all areas of the knowledge, and this general pattern actually hides differences in each area. For instance, biological sciences, exact sciences with mathematics and physics, technology, engineering belongs to one big STEM area, we know that, but we decide to separate them, then we can see their real differences and try to understand a little bit better why it's happening and how it happened in our university in general, actually, as well. And then it's easy to see that we need actually some actions that promote the development of women in different careers, and we need to think that in different manners. So the second thing we did in this year and a half, more or less, not half yet, but some months, was to organize a guide that we call Good Practice to Promote Gender Equity at Unicamp. We organized that in 3 different chapters, I would say, tackling gender inequity at the university, how to combat sexual and moral harassment, and some important concepts to fight against the gender discrimination. And this guide we organize in a PDF, which is available in this address at the Human Rights site in our university. So in the first topic, the first chapter or subchapter, we separate in 4 parts, contributing to change the institutional culture, a lot of tips and ideas and how to daily action to support gender equity, and good practices to organize academic activities like meetings, how to organize it in with the idea of equity, gender equity, and very important, what men can do to support gender equity at academy. First, we published this guide in our Instagram. So this is the address, our address in the Instagram. You can follow it. It's super nice. We have during 2 or 3 months all these actions and all these ideas in different weeks or different days. And then in the end, we organize that in one big PDF. The second part is how to combat sexual and moral harassment. So then, because there is the Gender and Sexuality Committee, working with the Human Rights Office, they have already a lot of policies and how to report important channels, how to report it, and then we disclose this information, we present this concept, and most of what we write in this guide was also published before in this other guide that was talking about sexual violence, also available in the same website of the Human Rights website in our university. And these are not only sexual harassment, but moral harassment that sometimes perpetuate in the academy and become some important for the equity as well. So interpersonal moral harassment, institutional harassment, vertical, horizontal, and then we show how to proceed in case of complaining and denouncing for employees and for students and professors. And for in the last chapter was the concepts like gender equity, microaggressions, mansplaining, gaslighting, many others that help to teach and to discuss the ideas in our university. So I didn't have time because it's super short. We work in 7 working groups. Here, everything I show you were organized by 3 of the 7 working groups. And I'd like to thank all these women and men that have helped us in producing all this information and materials. And I would like to thank you for being here today, for being concerned about equity, diversity, and inclusion. And I'll be very happy to answer questions and to think about that with you as well. Thank you very much.